You're listening to IBNX. IBNXradio.com.
Topics. Top opinions presented in current sports.
And we're back. Another edition of Topics here on IBNX Radio. I'm Tone Taylor.
And I'm Chris Harris. What's going on, y'all?
How's everybody doing on this wonderful Wednesday? How you doing, boy? Everything all right?
Everything, Chris. Everything, Chris.
That's what's up. Let's get right to it. Now let's get to it. The 76ers set a team record winning 15 straight. Are they a serious threat come playoff time? And can they possibly make a run?
I think so.
You think?
I think so. I mean, you never know. I mean, the thing with the playoffs is everything slows down in the playoffs. Everything, like, possessions matter more in the playoffs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
With a young team, guys who haven't really been in the playoffs, with a coach who's never coached in the playoffs. Right now they're looking at who they got first. Miami maybe is looking like who they got first.
Possibly. Mm-hmm.
Like, you got somebody who's on that other sideline who's very seasoned, very poised, with a lot of veterans that have been there. Wade, Grogic, Eric Spoelstra, Pat Riley, of course. You know, Pat Riley's going to put his emphasis in Whiteside.
Absolutely.
So that might not be a good matchup for the Sixers. You know, if I'm the Sixers, I want to see somebody like Indiana or somebody like that. But, I mean, you get who you get. But I think they can make a run. You know, Ben Simmons is playing unbelievable. Joel Embiid will be back. Those guys are rolling. They got some veterans like J.J. Redick and those guys. But they can make a run, but I wouldn't be surprised if I would be more surprised if they did make a run, like to the Western Conference Finals, than if they wouldn't.
To the Eastern Conference.
I mean, Eastern Conference Finals. Then they wouldn't. That's my biggest thing. Like, I think everything slows down. You know, guys are coming back. Guys got to fit in like Markelle Fultz. Where does he fit in? Especially coming back, you know, he's still getting his legs under him after missing 3/4 of the season, and now you got the playoffs. So, I mean, that's a lot to take in. So, I think
they'll
they're just
be
working.
playing Miami. Sorry to cut you off. They'll be playing right now if they stayed where they're at. They'll be playing Milwaukee.
They'll be playing Milwaukee.
But they play Milwaukee tonight. So this can determine if they drop to the 4th seed
or
they stay in the 3rd.
So
if they drop to the 4th, they'll be playing Indiana.
So if I'm LeBron right now, I want to stay at 4th. If I'm LeBron, I'd stay at 4 right now.
You got the Pacers, absolutely.
I'd rather the Pacers than the Bucks anytime. But that's my take. They can make a run.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to those guys, but I don't see them making a run.
You don't see it?
I don't see it.
I totally understand what you're saying. I get it. They're scary in the sense of, you're right, the game does slow down. And I feel when it comes to the playoffs, it's all about matchups. And to be honest, if I'm Cleveland, I pray to God I can avoid Philly. Because out of all the teams, really, I know we look at them, they're young, and, you know, young teams never just go from not making the playoffs to going to the finals. It's unheard of. Basically unheard of, unless you're Boston.
Or the Thunder.
But no, even the Thunder progressed.
Yeah, they did progress. They lost the
They
Dirk.
lost in the first
Dirk
round,
the year before that.
And
They lost to
then they
Dirk.
lost in the semis, and then they lost in the so it
you're
was
right.
a progression.
You're right. It was a progression.
So it's just unheard of to do that. So I get it. But this team, like you said, the game slows down, and they have that player that when things slow down, we could drop it to him. Embiid. He probably missed 1, maybe 2 games in the playoffs.
Those are big, though. You can't just miss 1-2 games in the playoffs.
You're right. But depending on who their matchup is, if they can get the first game, he can sit the second game if need be. If need be. But if the main thing is winning that first game without him. If they win that first game, they're still in good shape.
Against Miami. That's what they got right now.
Against
Milwaukee.
They got Milwaukee, but if they beat Milwaukee, I think Milwaukee would drop, and I believe Miami will move up. We just got to double check on that. But they play Milwaukee tonight. So this determines if they stay in the 3rd or they drop to the 4th. But I think they absolutely can make a run. If they can avoid Cleveland until the semifinals, and right now if they stayed in this spot 3 and 4, them in 3rd and Cleveland in 4th, they will meet up in basically the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Yeah, 3-4. Because they will avoid them in the first round. Second round, it would be
2-3, so they'd be Boston.
Boston. And they don't. And if they could get Boston in that second round, that's very favorable.
It's very favorable unless Marcus Smart comes back.
Unless, maybe. So
I like that team, even though Kyrie's out. I like that team enough with Marcus Smart back. Marcus Smart back, that gives them a different dynamic.
And to be honest with you, it does give them a different dynamic. But if they don't, that team is just as inexperienced as Philly.
Yes, but
without Kyrie,
but you
they
got
have Horford and they have the coach.
Nah, you got Marcus Smart, you got Morris, you got the Morris twins, well, one of the Morris twins. I just like that team, and I think I like their young nucleus a little bit better because they're still figuring out how to win games against quality teams without these. Even though they lost a bad one to Atlanta the other night, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are now coming. Like they're figuring out how they can play together.
Mm-hmm.
Where you could go Rozier, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Morris, and Horford, and be pretty good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Monroe is, like I said, Greg Monroe. I think you got Greg Monroe for something like the playoffs. That's what you got him for. But it's a toss up. It's a toss up. And like I said, Toronto never scares me in the playoffs. Never have.
Well, yeah.
You know,
I was trying to get with the Toronto wave, but you know, after that horrible loss they took to Cleveland, I'm like, you know, it's just they can't beat Cleveland, and you're gonna have unless Philly. But no, they can't because they're gonna have to play them, and I just don't see it. They it's just something about a LeBron when it comes to Toronto. They can't do anything.
Well, they don't have anybody that can really match up with them. Philly has a whole bunch of guys that can match up with him,
and they have the X factor Embiid.
You see what I'm saying?
Toronto
cannot match up with that one particular guy.
Man, it's crazy. That's insane.
Crazy. You know, so like Morris can match up with LeBron. It's not going to be a favorable matchup, but he can match up.
Who can match up with him?
Markieff Morris.
Oh, okay.
In Boston.
Okay.
You know, it's not a favorable matchup, but size wise, he can match up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Toronto you got to put somebody like DeMar DeRozan on him physically, but then that just wears him down offensively.
Absolutely. Now, he's not giving you 25 that you need. So yeah, but Philly, yes, I do think they can make a run. And if I'm LeBron, I will hopefully try to stay clear of the 76ers. So that's my input on it.
What about the Western Conference right now? You see, because the Western Conference is just as shaky. I mean, it's just as up and down right now.
What about it? Who do I feel is still going to come out? Or who do I feel will come out?
I mean, the Jazz beat the brakes off the Warriors the other night.
The brakes is not the word.
They beat the brakes off of them dudes.
Largest loss under Kerr, and period for the
Houston
Warriors.
looks really good still. OKC, I feel like Carmelo Anthony in the playoffs when everything slows down in the half-court game, he's going to be way more productive.
He's bred for this.
So I don't know, but I think
and whoever goes to Utah to play in Utah
is in trouble.
Is in trouble.
It's in trouble.
You don't play well in Utah. The West side is gonna be that playoffs from the first round to the Western Conference Finals is gonna be crazy.
You know who I like? The Pelicans.
Yeah,
they're playing well, right? I feel like they're playing well. Like you got to play well late.
They are. They're on a nice little run. They're on a nice little run. I mean, I just don't. They ain't fifth. They got Portland.
They're in fifth.
They ain't fifth.
When we people wrote them off after DeMarcus Cousins went down.
Absolutely. I was one of them. But then AD went on that crazy run.
Problem is he won't win MVP just because he didn't do it the first half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to take him out of the running. But Jesus, LeBron. Let's go back to LeBron. Won his 10th straight division title. Is this one of those we're just reaching now for accolades, or is this something to say like this is pretty impressive?
I keep it 100 when it's really reaching, but I actually feel like this was impressive. This is impressive. although it's the East and the vision, and at the end of the day, to sustain that, although you did have the best team, but it's just whatever team you're on is just overpowering everybody. And for 10 straight,
For a decade.
That's impressive. I give him a round of applause for that. That is impressive.
I don't even think his middle son is 10 years old. So he's been doing it before. Before two of his children were born.
No, he is. Well, his oldest is what, 13?
I don't know how Bronny, yeah.
13.
So he might be 10, 11.
He might be.
So
yeah.
you've been doing this
As long as.
I'm saying when you try to put things in perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you try to put things in perspective, I think this last week the whole double figure thing.
I was like, come on.
I guess consistency. I didn't like it. This one is pretty much impressive because even though you still have your teams are always pretty good or very good, you still got to win.
Absolutely.
And they did it in They do it in dominating fashion. Granted you've had superstars with you, but
So it was the last 2 years in Cleveland. Then there's 4 years in
last
Miami.
3 years in Cleveland. No, this is his 4th year in Cleveland. No,
No, but I'm talking about. In the 10 streak, it was his last 2 years that he won the division. Then it was the 4 years in Miami, right?
6.
Then the last
4 years in Cleveland again.
Impressive, man.
That's very impressive.
I give it to him. I'm gonna give you my round of applause, LeBron.
That's impressive.
That's very impressive.
That's very impressive. Let's just jump into NBA award predictions, right?
Okay.
Who's your MVP?
You know what? My MVP is James Harden. And everybody's talking. Oh, they put out the list of LeBron has more points.
He's leading.
More
He's
rebounds,
he's beating him
more
in every
assists.
statistical category.
Every statistical category. Yes, he's doing this. But he's 4th in the East.
And that was my point too.
I'm not knocking him. What he's doing is great. Like, Harden had an amazing season. The last 3 years,
James Harden is
Harden could have won the MVP.
The year KD won, the year Russ won, and who was the year before KD?
Before KD?
Steph.
Well,
No, so the last 2 years.
Last
2 because he was not beating Steph up. I'm sorry.
So, but I'm just saying, like, he could have won, and he got beat by people doing record-breaking things, and triple double for the season. Then Steph, period, the greatest shooter ever. So with that being said, yes, I understand that LeBron is putting up crazy numbers, and this is quote unquote everybody believes this is his best season, and he said this is the best season of his career. Harden has the best record in the NBA, in the Western Conference. He has the highest triple double. We talked about this. He was putting up numbers all year long. From the beginning, from the first week, they said Harden is number 1 in MVP. From the first week. Then LeBron was going. But LeBron came on later on after all the injuries and everything.
From January on, he's been playing lights out.
And we have a call. Okay, let's see who's calling in today.
I think I have a feeling who's calling.
Have a feeling? Caller, you're on with topic. State your name.
Randy.
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I can't complain. How you doing, Pop?
Do you just want to be on the show at this point? We might as well just have you on the show at this point. We might as well just put you on the show at this point. We're going to fly you down every Wednesday, and we're just going to put you on the show. You're going to be the third person.
I was there. You had that opportunity, and you let that opportunity pass itself. I actually don't have I have a question for you, esteemed gentlemen, this evening.
Okay.
Since you were talking about the NBA playoffs, I have a question. Neither one of you can answer this, right? Because I highly respect both of your basketball opinions.
Okay.
Who do you think has more pressure to excel in the playoffs? Mike D'Antoni or Chris Paul?
That's a great question.
Mike D'Antoni or Chris Paul?
Chris Paul. I'm going to go Chris Paul.
You going to go Chris Paul?
I'm going to go Chris Paul because as a coach, you don't really... I feel like Mike D'Antoni got cheated one year against the Spurs, where he was supposed to be in
with
Phoenix.
And
He
that's
kind of
what
died out a little bit. But Chris Paul has always had that expectation. He's always been, the knock on him is always been he can't get there. He can't get there. He can't get there. He'll be phenomenal all year, 20-10 whole career, and he just can't get there. He'll get hurt or whatever. So I'm gonna say Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul needs it for his legacy.
I'm also gonna.
Well, why?
Let me also pick. Well, you wanna respond to that? But why?
Piggyback.
Well, I would agree with that. I do say Chris Paul, one, because Chris Paul will go down as he's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer. But for his legacy to be known as one of the greatest, and he will be known as a great point guard, but to be known as one of the greatest, you have to get there. You have to win. And that's been knocking him his whole year. So if he retires, once he retires and he's never gotten out the first round or the second round, when you start naming the greatest point guards ever, you're always going to put him in that second echelon. And for him, if he wants to succeed that second echelon and bump himself up to that next tier of when you're talking about Magics and the Stocktons, or these great Oscar Robertson, these great point guards, Isaiah Thomases, he has to win. That's been his only knock. He's led the league in assists. He's led the league in steals. He's been that dog. He's gained the respect from every NBA player that's stepped on the court previously, presently, and will come follow. They'll always pay their respect. But if he wants that next step, that next echelon, he has to win. And that's been his knock.
Okay. Great point. I can see your point entirely. One further question. How far do you think he has to go to solidify that legacy? Does he have to make it all the way to the championship round? Does he have to win it all? How far do you feel?
I think he has to get to the finals. He has to get to the finals. John Stockton never won it, but his assist numbers were so crazy, and he blew everybody else out of the water with assists and steals.
Man, he also got there twice.
But he got there twice. But he lost to the greatest, one of the greats. So he kept a lot of people from winning. Chris Paul needs to make it to the finals. He needs to make it to the finals. He has to have a good showing in the finals. If he wins, he goes down top 5. I think top 5. He gets in that argument as the top 5 greatest point guards ever with Magic, Oscar, Stockton, Isaiah Thomas, and then you're gonna fight with him with like guys like Nate Archibald, guys like that, Clyde Frazier, Jason Kidd. He'll get in that argument where you can make a valid argument for him. He might not be top 5, but he'll be in that conversation. If he doesn't win, he doesn't even get in that conversation. And I love Chris Paul.
Exactly. And Jason Kidd needed that championship as well, too.
I respect you guys. Still, once again, I want to stress what a good time I had with you guys, and I think you guys are doing a superb job.
Thank you.
Have a great night. And Chris, that matter we talked about, I already took care of.
All right, thank you.
Okay, have a great night. Okay,
take care,
and I'll finish. Hopefully, I won't call in the back no more the rest of the show.
I'll call you after this. In the matter.
Take care.
Thank you. Don't worry, y'all. I ain't got no yeast infection or nothing like that. Don't worry. I was worried. That matter we talked about, we took care of.
Number one fan.
Yeah, you can't. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing serious. It wasn't nothing serious like that. You gotta go to commercial.
Nah, we got a couple minutes. We could go to our.
We gotta do predictions.
Who'd you pick? You still got
I'm agree with you with James Harden, right?
Okay.
I got James Harden as the number one. You got number one record, right? LeBron doesn't have that dominant ball handler like he had. Mm-hmm. Remember, he got rid of the dominant ball handler, so he's now the dominant ball handler. I think that's why his numbers are. This is best in the season because he's putting up pre-Kyrie numbers, pre-Miami Heat numbers, because he's now that dominant ball handler where the other ball handlers are spot-up shooters like the Mo Williams, the Daniel Gibsons of the world. Those guys were spot-up shooters. Those guys really had the ball in their hands, but he was out the game. Mm-hmm. So even though George Hill is the ball handler, even though he's hurt, he's not really the primary ball handler. James Harden, I feel like, even with Chris Paul, is still more the primary ball handler. You know, to have the number one record and the way they was doing it all year, convincing. It's not like they got win streak. It's not like they got. It's not like they got hot late. You know, LeBron is playing stellar basketball, but his team for a long time had underachieved. James Harden was playing stellar basketball, and they were dominating.
Absolutely.
With Chris Paul, you know, you take like even when Chris Paul was out, James Harden was putting up crazy numbers. Even when James Harden was when Chris Paul was out. James Harden was still putting up those crazy numbers in the beginning of the season.
Absolutely.
So I think at this point you can't come on.
Okay, so we both agree with MVP James Harden. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we have some more predictions. You're listening to Topics here on IBNX Radio.
Gentlemen, each and every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. JC Squared on the Air Show featuring Jason J-Boy Carey for the Socialite. JC Squared on the Air. Reason Monday is your new favorite day of the week. Music, special guest, celebrity birthday, the daily, student segment, crazy holiday, and today in hip hop. Check out IBNX Radio and the JC Squared on the Air Show. So much fun, you didn't even realize you learned something. This message has been brought to you by Day Ray Media. Day Ray!
Okay, we're back. You're listening to Topics here on IBNX Radio, and Chris took my chair, but we're not even going to talk about that. We're going to
I got a condition. I got a medical condition.
Okay.
He a hater, sis. He a hater, sis.
So, moving on. Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year?
Would you want to leave this for last, or you want to just?
I want to leave that for last.
You want to leave that
put
for
that for last.
All right,
on
cool. So,
Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year. I was moving back and forth on this. It's tough for me. You know what's crazy? I really want to hear who you have.
Quinn Snyder.
Why?
Quinn Snyder of the Utah Jazz. You lost Ricky Rubio. You lost George Hill. You lost Joe Johnson. You lost Gordon Hayward.
Absolutely.
Top 4 team in the Western Conference.
Amazing.
Top 4 team in the Western Conference with Rudy Gobert, who was hurt for a long period of time as well, battling an injury bug. No, you got Ricky Rubio. Excuse me. You didn't lose Ricky Rubio. You got Ricky Rubio, who was never this offensive juggernaut. You got a whole bunch of role guys. You know, you lost almost at least 70% of your offense.
Absolutely.
To be a top 4 team in the Western Conference with, and you have a rookie that's been playing outstanding. What you've done with that team, because they were looking at a lottery team. They were looking like a lottery team. When all that went down in July,
Absolutely.
you had them like, oh, they're a lottery team. And then especially when you gave up George Hill, Joe Johnson, you lose all those guys, you're like, nah, there's no way. They're gonna be bad. Not only are they bad, they're gonna get a home court. They're gonna get a home court advantage for the first round.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
So for Quinn Snyder, I think nobody expected him to have the success with not only make the playoffs, but you're in, like you're home court. So Quinn Snyder, Utah Jazz, I think he did the best job.
And when I was looking at him, I had his name down as well.
The team got worse and they did better.
That's what's crazy. I actually picked Nate McMillan.
Of Indiana?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's look at Indiana. I think what they did was amazing. Like, of course, they got Victor Oladipo, and he's having an outstanding year. But it's hard. They play hard-nosed defense. They lock up, and they run. I really like what he did because nobody looked at Indiana and really thought they were going to be in the playoff race at all.
They got some good pieces, though.
They got some good pieces, and Nate put them together perfectly. They're 5th in the East. Yes, it's the East, but you play who you play. You're in the East. And I felt like he did an amazing job with what he was given. So, I mean,
losing Paul George.
There's no real wrong answer with, Snyder or McMillan. You also have Dwayne Casey.
Toronto.
Terry Stouts. So, I mean, that's easily. So, there's no real wrong answer. It's just
Brett Brown.
Absolutely.
Brett Brown.
So,
you were a top 3 team drafting every year the last 5 years.
And
Now look.
So, there's no real wrong answer. 6th man.
Lou Williams.
Was there a debate?
No.
I have an honorable mention, though.
Who?
Van Fleet from Toronto.
Put him in the same conversation as Lou Williams
No, but I'm just saying an honorable mention
for the 6 man.
for 6 men.
Okay.
I liked him this year. He played hard. He helped.
So you
them
liked
a lot.
him more than you liked Eric Gordon?
Yeah. This year.
Ooh.
This year.
Really?
This year.
Really?
This year.
Interesting.
This year.
That was interesting.
I like what he did
You liked Van Vliet more than you liked Eric Gordon
this year.
Oh, check you out.
I'm just saying.
How about that? Oh, okay.
Most improved player.
Victor Oladipo.
Yeah, it wasn't no discussion, right? Yeah. Hands
Victor
down.
Oladipo.
Yeah.
It was either him or Bradley Beal.
Absolutely. Defensive player of the year.
Anthony Davis.
You got Anthony Davis.
Now, Anthony Davis is leading the league in blocks, and he's top 20 in steals.
Okay, I'm gonna go Embiid.
No.
Just because you said Anthony Davis. Just because you said Anthony Davis, I'm gonna go Embiid.
No.
I'm just saying.
No. Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has like 50 more blocks than whoever's second.
Disrespectful. That's disrespectful.
He's like at 187, and the next person's like I think Clint Capella's at like 138.
Disrespectful.
It's Anthony Davis, bro. It's Anthony Davis. And the argument is Rookie of the Year.
And I like this rookie race right now. I like it.
It's a two-man race.
Of course.
It's a two-man race, and it's probably going to be co-Rookie of the Year.
Should it?
I don't think so, because I hate the rule. You know, I hate that rule. I absolutely hate that rule where you don't play your rookie year, so the next year, which is technically your second year in the league, you win Rookie of the Year. No.
So basically, you think that Mitchell should be Rookie of the Year?
I think Donovan Mitchell should be Rookie of the Year because Ben Simmons is playing what he's expected. He's been playing basketball what he's been expected to do. When you drafted Ben Simmons, and nothing that he's doing is surprising you. You knew that he can do this. You
didn't think he would do it this quick. You didn't think it would be at this magnitude.
I did.
You thought so?
I did 15. Wow. I thought he 15, 8, and 8 guy, 15, 8, and 9 guy. I thought he could do that.
From the gate.
From the gate because he's going to have the ball in his hands.
Originally, he was supposed to have the ball in his hands this much because they drafted Fultz.
But remember, they drafted him. When they drafted Ben Simmons, they was like, we're going to play him at the point.
Yeah, but then they drafted a point guard.
But, but he's not really a point guard.
Fultz
is really he wants to play off the ball and score it, and complementary to Ben Simmons. So when Ben Simmons goes out the game, you can put the ball in his hands, but he's not going to be your guy down the stretch that's going to make plays. So that was the right pick. But Ben Simmons, you didn't expect Donovan Mitchell to do what Donovan Mitchell is doing. Donovan Mitchell is playing like he's been in the league 5 years.
So because he surprised me, I'm supposed to give it to him?
He's exceeded expectations.
Okay, but so just because he exceeded expectations, he surprised you, you just give it to him?
No, you give it to him because he exceeded expectations. Not only did you expect him, you didn't expect that. You thought Utah was going to be bad. He's the sole reason.
Utah is this good. Okay, so because you expected Ben Simmons to do this, it diminishes what he's doing?
It doesn't diminish it, but I feel like Donovan Mitchell has had more impact on the Utah Jazz than Ben Simmons on them.
Why? Because he has Embiid?
Yes, and I think he has, yeah.
So
we can't
Gobert is not over there either?
Gobert is not the offensive juggernaut that Embiid is.
Okay, but he's the defense. That team is defensive based. They stop you.
Donovan Mitchell also broke the rookie record for three-pointers made this season.
Absolutely. He beat out Lillard, Steph. Yes.
That's pretty good company. That's pretty good
scoring. And look, and you can speak about.
And Donovan Mitchell's a dog defensively.
If we look at a player that impacts the game in many different areas, you look at Ben Simmons.
From a statistical standpoint, because he's so tall, yes.
Okay, because now we're going because he's so tall. It doesn't matter if he's so tall. What he does, we
he
only
impacts
go for
the game.
what we
He impacts the game, but I feel like Donovan Mitchell impacts the game just as much.
You think just as much?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
I think so.
No. And I've actually learned to like Donovan Mitchell. I'm like, yo, what is all this hype about? And I watched him. I was like, oh my god, I did not see this at Louisville. I seen the the athleticism,
The strength.
But this is wow. And what helps is his confidence is through the roof. His first and second game, I think he had like 7 points, 6 points, and then he just went on a tear.
Oh, he get 30 clips.
But consistency from the beginning, again, the Harden effect from week one. He's been the most consistent from week one of Ben Simmons to game 1 to game 82.
Another thing is, I feel like Ben Simmons. Like I said, I don't like the rule. I hate that rule. I honestly hate that rule where
But you didn't step on the court because you was practicing.
you just get. I mean, it's a lot that goes into it that people don't really realize. The traveling, the dieting, the off season workouts. You trained. You got to be you did summer league, so you got acclimated, right? You got hurt, but they just chose to keep you out. You could have came back. They chose to keep you out. Why that whole time? You were still practicing. You were still working out. You were still working out professionally. You had that year of experience, even though you didn't play in the games. You had everything else that you were still getting reps in.
So he's not a rookie.
I feel like you should forfeit. I feel like even if you get hurt, you should forfeit that. You should forfeit that. Like, I don't like the rule. You're not a rookie. You're not a rookie. This is somebody who had to come in on the fly and figure it out. Versus somebody who now, if Donovan Mitchell had another year, also, he'd be like, all right, well, like I wouldn't be mad at co-MVPs because I don't want to discredit what Ben Simmons is doing. I feel like Ben Simmons going into the season had the advantage. That's all I'm saying. He had the advantage. They're third in the East.
Third in the East.
They're third in the East, which is weaker than the West, right? Mm-hmm. That's not the Ben Simmons' fault.
But they won in 50 games. They did.
The Jazz are fourth in the West. And
third now.
So they're playing pretty even, and I feel like Ben Simmons had the advantage because he was there for a year. And you got another.
Because they have the tiebreaker with Portland.
And you got, what's your name? You got Embiid with you. And you got a pretty good, I feel like you got a little bit of a better team. From top to bottom. You got J.J. Redick, Saric.
That team is actually
Covington.
Surrounded Donovan Mitchell well. Like, you have a low post.
You're not throwing the ball to
Not a low post present, but you have a big man that protects the rim.
Yeah. It could go either way, but I'm giving it to Donovan Mitchell because, like I said, the Jazz. You kind of like with the Sixers, it was like, when are you guys gonna do this? You guys had Embiid with the number 1 pick, Okafor with the number 3 pick, even though you traded him. Saric was a high draft pick. Ben Simmons was number 1.
And you had
Markelle Fultz was number 1.
The one they traded to, the other big man.
Okafor.
No, the other one before him.
No, there's Noel. Like,
what? Trust the process.
I hear you, but I'm just saying, like, how long were you guys? You guys had to be good sooner or later.
Okay, right now. Don't knock it because you had to wait a little while for it.
You didn't have to wait with Donovan Mitchell in them.
So I can't just boost them up because I didn't have to
You
wait.
can though.
I'm not going to.
You
do
can
that. I'm
though.
going off what I'm seeing right now, and what I'm seeing is I like Donovan Mitchell.
So Ben Simmons is your MVP.
Rookie
rookie
of the year.
Okay.
You got to be real.
Andre Ingram, 10 years in the G League, gets called up for the Los Angeles Lakers, scores 19 points, 6 for 8 in the field. This is your Lakers, by the way. I'm going to let you take this.
Wow. Yo, I'm not going to lie.
You look like him. When you cut your beard. When you didn't have your beard, you look like him.
I look like him? I need the gray hairs, though.
His gray hairs is crazy.
It's crazy. He only 32.
Yeah, he's stressed. That G League is
Listen,
stressed.
10 years? 10 years in the G League.
And when he's not playing basketball, he's a math tutor.
Math tutor. This story is amazing. Do you know how many of us older people now?
You're actually older than him.
I'm older than him by a year. I'm older than him by a year, okay? But I seen myself. I was like, we had to throw that out there. See,
I was going to get you back. I was going to get you back for last week.
Older people. You understand what I'm saying?
Get you last
we looked at this like, wow. Persistence, dedication. This story is amazing.
So let me ask you this, right? When you watched it, right? Did you call like your AARP people and like take out a claim and it was like, yo, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. And then you was like, nah, I'm getting shots.
I'm not going to lie. I was like, listen, I need to go to the gym. I can get some shots in.
Was it like you was getting shots up or was it like a butter rim?
Some
like you was Tom Shepard where you ain't even have a ball and you was just in the crib and you was knocking lamps
I think
over.
it was more my brain. It was more my brain and I felt like Shep because I didn't want to go out there. See, he stayed consistent though, man. This story is amazing. Undrafted in 2007 out of American University. Most threes in G League history. Well, he's been there 10 years.
You might as well.
But he can shoot that thing. His shot is unorthodox.
Very. Doesn't look pretty coming off.
But he holds the follow through and he knocks it down. That was amazing story. And when he was checking in the game, they showed the
Him and Chris Paul
Chris
interaction.
Paul, they're the same age. He's from Virginia. Chris Paul's from North Carolina. But that story is amazing.
Shout out to the organization for realizing that and giving him out. Because you probably, like, 10 years in the G League, you probably overlook it.
Absolutely.
You go with one of your younger guys who you drafted, you give them another chance or whatever the case may be. But they've been holding guys down, like Alex Caruso. He's made the roster from Summer League, but he was on that G League team for a minute.
Yep.
So, like you said, I mean, you hit the nail on the head with phenomenal.
It was. I love the story. The story is amazing. He was the most points scored by a rookie Laker since Nick Van Exel.
I'm saying just rookie stuff.
In '93, he a rookie. He not a rookie. He's an NBA rookie.
He's an NBA
never
rookie.
stepped.
So he gets. I'd rather him get rookie than Ben
Oh,
Simmons.
here we go. He averaged more than Ben right now. 19.
He averaged more. No, he don't average more than Donovan Mitchell. I think.
No, Donovan is at 20. 20.1 something.
Hold
like
on to it, Donovan. Don't lose it to Andre Ingram. Please.
Listen, Andre, you could go for about 25 next game.
Hey, you be leading rookies in scoring.
Leading rookies and scoring. Yo, he's never made over 30,000 in a year. Like you said, he had to be a math tutor.
The G League contracts is a ripoff.
Yeah, and it depends. If you have an A contract, you got drafted by an NBA team.
The A contract is like what, 25,000 or something
No,
like
it's
that.
not. The A contract is you got drafted by.
So it's a two-way contract. So you get NBA money, but you back and forth.
Money, but they just drop you to the D League. The B contract, you get drafted into the G League, which used to be the D League, but now, why did they name it the G League? Because of
Gatorade.
2K. Okay.
Because of 2K.
I'm just saying. D League meant since the development league.
G League, the Gatorade League. Gatorade is paying for it. You're gonna name it whoever paying for it.
I guess.
The less money you got to put out. I feel like I said. Do you feel like more teams should take a look at the G League talent?
Absolutely. And the reason I say this is if you look at Major League Baseball, Major League Baseball has a farm system
Of AA and AAA.
of AAA. You get drafted by the team,
And you gotta go double
but you have to work your way up to this roster. You're a kid. Yes, they do draft very young as well.
And they got more
sometimes
rounds.
17, 18 years old, 16 years old. Some people get, but they want you to develop correctly, the right way. They see potential in you, so they're like, you know what? Let's put you through our farm system and work your way up. We know eventually you'll get here, but once you get here, we want you to be right. They don't rush you along. They won't throw you in to the fire. In the NFL, quarterbacks that come first, if they're not that ready, they sit for a year. They sit for 2 years. So it's I do think if they do come in and go to the G League has a lot of good players that can help teams. Shooters. They need to look at it. They just having the league just to have it? No, go look at these teams. I know you want these 18 and 19-year-old kids coming out of college that's the potential is through the roof, but you have some well-developed players that, you know what, they needed an extra 1 year or 2 years in the G League that can help you right now, and they're men. Why not? That doesn't make any sense. So, yes, I do think they should start looking at it.
I agree. I said it. In order to get rid of the help with the NCAA and all that other stuff, make the G League expandable where everybody has a G League affiliate. I think there are some teams who still don't have a G League. I don't think the Clippers have one. Not sure if Milwaukee has one. Utah. Teams like you got to make.
They might.
I don't think Utah has one.
Grand Rapids? Well, that's okay.
Like Orlando, Miami, I don't think those teams have G League affiliates, and I think you should. Each team has to have a G League affiliate. It just makes the brand better.
Absolutely.
That just adds 50 to 100 more guys, depending on how many teams don't have them, in your brand.
Absolutely.
That are not playing overseas. So I agree with it. Yeah. Coming up, Patrick Reed won the Masters. Compelling story. Very, very compelling story. And our struggling Yankees tuned to the topics on IBNX Radio.
You're listening to IBNX. IBNXradio.com. The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music. Hey, what's up? It's Jay-Z.
Hey, I'm Mariah Carey. Hey, it's Katy Perry.
It's your boy T.I.P., man. Get in. It's your boy Sean Kingston.
What's up, y'all? I'm Beyonce. This is Nicki Minaj, and I'm in the mix with
IBNX Radio.
Okay, you're listening to Topics here on IBNX Radio. Jumping back into some basketball NBA talk. The OKC Thunder clinched the playoff berth. Clinched it. A round of applause for the OKC Thunder for clinching it on the 81st game of the season. Are you serious? Russ had 23 points and 18
a lot of
rebounds.
teams haven't clinched yet.
He needs 6. Who didn't clinch yet? That has 3 Hall of Famers. Don't worry, I'll wait. Don't worry. He grabbed 6. He needs 16 rebounds to average a triple-double for the season. I need to ask you this one question. Is Russell Westbrook stat chasing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think when you put it in perspective, like there's gonna be part of him like, yo, that would be great to have. But him getting 16 rebounds, something that he'll get it just because he plays hard. Like you can't ever say he's stat chasing because he plays so hard. But I don't think he's stat chasing. I do not think he's stat chasing. Now, if like, he throwing it off the backboard and missing layups and then getting it up, then he's stat chasing.
Like some Ricky Davis thing, trying to get the triple-double. I'll never forget that.
Then he's stat chasing, you know. But I don't think he's stat chasing. I don't think he'll get 16 rebounds.
You don't think he had 18 last game, and the game before that he had 2 games before that when he started off the 4 games that we needed 50 something. He had 16, and he didn't have this. He's going for this record. Do you understand? Steve, you know what? I want you to finish. I apologize.
So him going for the record is stat chasing technically.
I want you to finish first. I don't want to.
I don't think he's stat chasing. Okay. I don't think he's stat chasing. I think that's just how he plays, bro. I think that's how he plays. Like he could have to have 25 rebounds and he'll still try to go get 25. Like you tell Russell Westbrook give me 50 rebounds and I think he's wired like he'll just try to go get 50 rebounds. He's wired like that. You know, I don't think he's stat chasing.
You done? Is it my turn? Yeah. Okay. Is Russell Westbrook stat chasing? He knew how many rebounds he needed to average a triple-double. He's going for it. He's no way on God's green earth he's not going for this record. Now, if you ask me, is he wrong for doing it? No. He's not wrong for doing it. Because at the end of the day, if you in a game and you got 46 and you know the team all-time record is 60 and this is at the end of the third, would you be mad if the coach sits you and you up 15, 20? You up 20. Coach sits you. And you have a chance to get the all-time points in a single game.
I'd be mad.
You'd be mad.
I'd be mad.
I would be too.
Because it's not my fault that they're losing by 20.
It's not.
It's not my fault that they're losing by 20.
So, of course, you'll be mad. You probably won't vocally express it, but you'll be a little salty.
A little salty.
Now, who's ever averaged
a triple-double
for 2 years, 2 years in a row, 2 years, period. So, yes, he wants that. He wants it. He wants to win, too. And I know he's a dog. He's a wolf. He wants to win. So yes, I do think he's stat chasing. Like, come on, Steve Adams had 4 rebounds. That game he had 18. He had 4 rebounds.
So he just letting Russ rebound.
It's been plenty times that he's boxed out and let the ball bounce so Westbrook could get it. Regardless of the fact, if you're doing it on purpose, it's not something that you practice.
So
like,
is
okay,
it stat chasing if your teammates is helping you though?
Yeah. What do you mean? It is stat chasing.
Okay.
It is. I don't knock you for it though. But now, is this taking away other aspects of trying what the bigger picture is? Is this taking away from what your team needs?
No.
That's the other question. So
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. You rebound. I think this is like, you know, like you get this record. All right, cool. You know, we'll celebrate it. Yeah, good job. And then let's revamp this focus. You know, it's not like he's not. It's not like he he got to average 40. He got to get 120 points in the next 4 games or something like that. And you got to score 30 points a game. So you got to take away other guys' shots and get those guys. It's rebounding the basketball. You got to secure the basketball.
Are the OKC Thunder the biggest underachievers in NBA history?
No, because the players haven't started yet.
They have a Hall of Famer, an All-Star in his prime,
And then former MVP.
and a former MVP, possibly can all be Hall of Famers. And they just clinched the playoffs on the 81st game of the season. And they're a 7th seed.
So were they more underachievers than that Laker team that lost to Detroit? With 4 Hall of Famers on that team?
They made it to the NBA Finals. They made it to the NBA Finals.
Team just three-peated. And then you add 2 Hall of Famers.
Do you know how hard it is to go back to
I agree.
back finals?
I just asked the question.
But
I
no,
just asked the question.
I don't think it's even comparable. You named a team that went to the finals and lost in a 5-game sweep. You know, I call it that. To a team that has possibly 3 Hall of Famers.
4.
I'm talking about OKC.
Oh.
Possibly 3 Hall of Famers. Right now, it's a Hall of Famer, an All-Star in his prime, and a former MVP. And they're 7th in the West. And you have a team. That you spoke about with Donovan Mitchell. That's 3rd in the West. Yes, we could say yes, or 2 games apart, whatever the situation is. But at the end of the day, they're 7th with 3 possible Hall of Famers. They underachieved.
Underachieved, yes. Are they the biggest underachievers in NBA history? No.
I mean, if we look it up, I don't know who can compare to that.
I'm pretty
They
sure
almost
we can
lost.
find
They almost missed the playoffs. If they would have lost,
almost don't count.
okay.
Not they didn't miss the playoffs in a year. But they were in. Now, what if they go to the Western Conference Finals? All's well again. Because now you did it as a 7th seed.
You think they're going to the Western Conference Finals? Right now, they got. If they stay in the 7th, they have the Warriors.
No.
Okay.
Well,
Tough. And I said myself.
Well.
that this will be the scariest.
Go ahead. It kind of get even with no Steph. It get real even with no Steph. It gets really even, and it gets really interesting with no Steph.
Because arguably, they have probably 2 out of the top 3 players in that series without Steph. So if you go KD, next best player is Westbrook. It's a toss-up who you think is better, Paul George or Clay.
Poor George.
So then they have top 2 out of 3 players.
It get real dicey with no Steph Curry.
Okay.
So, yeah, they got a chance.
They got a chance.
They might have been losing on purpose just to see the Warriors.
They got.
That'll be stupid, right?
Don't get crazy. Do not get crazy, OKC. But yeah, I do feel like they underachieved. But we have a good story, a feel-good story. I want you to tell everybody what the feel-good story.
This is kind of upsetting. Patrick Reed won the Masters, right?
Mm-hmm.
3 miles away from Augusta National, his parents watched and cheered him on. Now,
Did they cheer him on?
yeah, they cheered him on.
Okay.
The crazy thing is, his father, Patrick Reed's father, is not allowed at his golfing events.
His sister isn't.
The family is.
Period.
Period. Per the request of Patrick Reed's wife. Details on the story have not been why that is. I haven't got to the answers yet. But to see, imagine being so close but so far away at a time like this. You were the one who put your son's hands. You were the one that put the golf clubs in your son's hands. You grew up in a golf town. Augusta National is the biggest golf tournament in the world. And to watch on TV when you're literally 3 miles away,
Absolutely.
and you can't be there to share that moment because of whatever reason, it's tough. It's very tough. Congratulations to him. You know, when he spoke about it, and he kept it really under the wraps. He didn't really go into details as to why that is. So, what do you think is more compelling? What do you think is more eye-opening? The fact that his father isn't allowed at his golfing events and that everything, or the fact that he won? Who he beat out? How he beat out Rory? He beat out Jordan Spieth. He beat out those guys as well. So, which one do you think which one do you think breaks the headline more? Who he beat or the story behind it?
I think they both play into each other very well. Because if anybody that watches golf or follows golf, they know the story of, Patrick Reed. He's a loner, he's not very favorable on the tour. People don't get along with Patrick Reed. You don't hear people rooting for Patrick Reed. And that goes back to his time in college too. Like, he's never been that popular guy that people liked. He got kicked off the University of Georgia team.
Transferred to Augusta State
and won 2 national titles.
Yep.
And still was not liked by teammates, And when he joined the tour, everybody was not very welcoming. He's never won a major, but he was a dog at the Ryder Cup. He was like Captain America. That's what they called him. His nickname was Captain America. He was a phenomenal.
He tore Rory up.
Listen.
He tore Rory McIlroy up, who's one of my favorite golfers.
And he's known for showing up at the Ryder Cup. That's his thing. But he's never won a major. He's won, different tours and but never won a major. His story, from not being liked and even at Augusta last Sunday, everybody was rooting for McIlroy. They wanted him to do the Grand Slam or Spieth to win his second jacket. Or even Fowler, just to, he's never won before. But no one was rooting
for Patrick Reed.
And he never got scared. He never got flustered. Even when Spieth and Fowler, made their run on the back nine, which was an incredible run.
Got spooky for him.
McIlroy, he fell off, but Spieth and Fowler were gaining on him. And Spieth even tied him. He evened it up. And on the 14th hole, without even shaking, not blinking, Reed knocked that birdie in and took the lead again and never looked back and won it. He got the help in on the 17th hole and then won it on the 18th. That his storyline and just from his history, I think they both tie in. Like I told you, that back nine we were speaking about before.
Back nine is the backbreaker. You got to get through that back nine to win.
Absolutely. So, with that being said, just the story of his, he doesn't even have a caddy sponsorship. He doesn't. He's just so, he's the black ball. Black sheep, excuse my French, the black sheep of the PGA Tour. And for him to go through that and win, that's amazing. I loved it. And then, his caddy used to be his wife. She got pregnant and her brother took over. So, and then, he will go on his practice swings by himself. A lot of the other players, they'll have 2 or 3 people that go out there and he's just by himself. He put his earbuds in. So I like the storyline. It's sad about the estrangement from his family.
Who helped him get to where he is. But he's always been that type of person. And I read something, I don't know if it's true, that his wife and his sister had words. And that's where it started. That's where it started. And they were removed. She had him removed from one of the tournaments. I agree with you. I think however, though, I think the family aspect takes the headline because your dad had to be humble enough where to still paint you in a good light, because he could have easily came off bitter and took the moment away from him if he wanted to. Mm-hmm. And whether you want to respect it or not, that could have been the option, and the fact that he didn't, speaks a lot. He golfed an amazing weekend. He golfed, so I'm not taking anything away from him. But now it's now the microscope is finer now. It's finer. because now we have to see what else you can do now. You now have to go forward and what else you got for me?
Absolutely.
What else you got for me, right? But somebody that we didn't, I mean, a couple weeks ago we were talking about Kim Tiger winning. Of course, we was like, I don't know, but
I thought he had a shot. He's been playing very well. You know, his putt been good. I felt he did have a shot. He had a great shot. I mean, things don't always turn out the way you want. But
switch to a little baseball.
this is sad.
Red Sox beat the brakes off the Yankees like they stole something. 14-1. It was 14-1 in the sixth inning. Are the Yankees underachieving? Because you like to throw that word around. Are the Yankees underachieving, or is it still early?
It's still early, but yes, they are. You know,
Then the Red Sox lost one game so far.
yeah, they're 9-1.
Something crazy.
And you know, even though everybody looks at baseball and you say it's 152, 62, 162 games, they say it's a long season. Understand, if you get 6 games behind, it can take you about 2 to 3 months to catch up. People don't understand that. If you're lucky, if they stay consistent, and even if you're playing lights out, it can still take you a couple of months to catch back up. It's not as easy just because you think it's 162 games in the season for baseball. It's not that easy. And you playing teams back to back to back. You have series. You play them 3 or 4 times. Yes, I do feel at the moment they're underachieving, and I do feel they will pick it back up. But you know, the thing that was dominant for us last year is hurting us right now. Our bullpen, our pitching, it's hurting us because there's going to be some nights where our bats, even though we have the hitters, there's going to be some nights where those bats are not as alive.
Like last night.
You know, 1 run. We need someone. We need an ace in there that can shut a team down. And right now, our pitching is what's hurting us. But we have a caller. All right, caller. State your name. You're on Topics. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat your name?
Hey, this is Ashley Danielle.
Okay, how you doing, Ashley Danielle?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We're great. Happy to have you.
Well, thank you for calling.
Did you have a question for
so
us?
I just wanted to, it's been about 30 minutes since your show has started, and I saw some of the topics on your Instagram that you were going to cover today. And as a woman, I just wanted to know, were you guys going to talk about the WNBA draft tomorrow?
Very interesting. I'm glad that you called and brought that up. We didn't have that on the show today, but we were going to go into WNBA topics once the season started. But since you are calling now, I'm guessing you do follow the WNBA?
I follow, I played my entire life, and I'm really excited about, tomorrow, the draft with some of the, like Asia Wilson and people from South Carolina and UCLA. So, I just want to hear you guys talk about some girl stuff, too, as well.
Okay, we definitely will. But since I have you on the show, I want to ask you something.
Did she watch last week?
Huh?
Did you watch last week?
Sorry.
Maybe she didn't.
What was that?
Did you watch last week when we spoke about the women's Final Four at length and verbally said that the women's sports period needs to be on a bigger forefront. We gave a complete shout out to the women's Final Four last week and said that the women's Final Four was a better watched event than the men's Final Four last week. So if you didn't see that segment, can you please go back and watch it and give us your opinion? We would definitely appreciate your opinion on our view from that last week's episode or 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. It was 2 weeks ago. So if you can go back and just give us your opinion. But you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
I'm glad that you're calling in. And we would like to have more female input as well.
It most definitely the Final Four was a better watch with women than it was with the men's game. And the problem with it is, and I do agree with you saying that.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Hello.
Oh, yeah. So I was just saying that the problem is, I do agree with you when you say that women need to have a big than men. I agree with you 100% because of the simple fact that it's like this: is that women, most guys or most people just say that women don't dunk or they don't do all these little fancy moves and stuff, so it doesn't make it interesting. But if you really watch the game of basketball, women do all the fundamental stuff that's taught, So, I mean, the game is interesting on our own level. People just compare girls to boys and like, oh, it's not fun if you watch what the girls do. But if you watch what the boys do, then watching what the girls do, it's not fun. But what we do is very interesting to watch because we hustle more than boys when we play. So that's why it was more interesting when the Final Four came around because the stuff that women do in basketball, I mean, you got to think about everything that we carry along with us and stuff that we get that men don't get, and we still fight through that, and we still give up a good show. So, I did hear y'all last week mention that, but it's just, it's very frustrating for someone like me who actually played my entire life, even when you look at salaries and stuff when it comes to WNBA and NBA. Like a man, the lowest player in the NBA contract is like $400,000, whereas a woman, the highest is about 60,000, 70,000.
Yeah, that's why they.
So it just, I just wanted to call you guys because I'm actually on this weekend show. So I'm with your family here in Team IBNX, and I do listen to you guys often because I love sports. So I wanted to just call in and chime in on my little, spill about women's basketball.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I would love to have you on the show one day, too.
Definitely. You can definitely come down and definitely be a catalyst for this going forward. But we agree with you. I mean, but going forward, like, if anybody says that, oh, it's not as fun to watch, then it's a lie, and they're not a basketball fan. They're a fan of highlights. Those are the people who turn on Sports Center and they just want to watch the highlights. They want to see they're not basketball fans. If you watch basketball and you're a fan of basketball, there's no way that you cannot watch the WNBA. You cannot watch women's college basketball. There's just no way. This doesn't make sense. Absolutely. Like the young girl going to UConn. She played in the Jordan Brand Ashby. I forgot her name, but she was dunking during the game.
And even without the dunking, they play the game correctly. The fundamentals, you can see, they fundamentally sound. Women's basketball is very, very entertaining if you're a fan of basketball, like you said. So, yes, I totally agree with you. I'm definitely going to look at the draft, and we're going to definitely talk about
We're going to talk about it next Wednesday. Tune in next Wednesday. We're going to make that a point. We're writing it down right now. We're making that a point. We're going to talk about the WNBA draft next Wednesday.
No. I just wanted to call. No, you guys, I love our show. I'm telling you, I watch it every single week because I love sports. So me and my husband, we watch the show every single week. So I just wanted to call in to let you guys know I support you all, and of course, had to talk about girls. I didn't want to talk about baseball and golf stuff. I know that's what y'all talking about. I just wanted to talk about some girls.
Fair enough.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. We touch everything here. So.
Yep, absolutely. I'll be watching the rest of the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate the support.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Thank you for that insight. We appreciate that call.
Did we just get yelled at?
Did we get yelled at?
We just got yelled at.
I don't know if we got yelled at, but
we ain't get yelled at, but we got a stern talking to just now. But we appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we was talking about how horrible the Yankees are playing.
Yeah.
But we have to take a quick break. When we come back, we have some more topics here on IBNX Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, each and every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. Tune into T.C. Squared on the Air Show featuring Jason J-Boy Carey for the socialite. T.C. Squared on the Air. Reason Monday is your new favorite day of the week. Music, special guest, celebrity birthday, the daily student segment, crazy holiday, and today in hip hop. Check out IBNX Radio and the J.C. Squared on the Air Show. So much fun you didn't even realize you learned something. This message has been brought to you by Day Ray Media. Day Ray!
Hey, we doing the Japanese boy? Tuned in the topics on IBNX Radio. Welcome back. So, our Yankees. I think they're gonna get it together. I told you don't drink the Aaron Boone Kool-Aid. Why you don't never listen to
What
me?
you mean?
In beverage choices.
It's still early.
You drinking the Kool-Aid.
Listen,
You drinking the Kool-Aid.
I still think they can get it
They
together.
gonna run him out of there.
You think so?
He don't get it together. Giancarlo Stanton, he got like 2-3 years before they run him out of there. Them 5 strikeouts, 2 of them. Come on, dog.
Listen,
Come on, dog.
It's
But then he could rattle off 13 home runs in 4 games, and then you be like, all right, my bad.
this. Is, listen, he needs to go. You know who he needs to call? He needs to call A-Rod. He needs to call Alex Rodriguez.
That's a great point because Alex Rodriguez went through the same thing.
Went through the same thing. You know, MVPs, hit a home run, everything. He came here and he was struggling, and they was killing him. The New York fan life is different.
Different. You got to know what you're getting into. I don't think you know. Like, there's no preparation for it.
There's not.
There's no preparation for it. You have to be drafted by us in order to accept you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be drafted by us. If you're not drafted by us and you come to us, it's completely different.
Absolutely.
You got to come in guns blazing. It got to be right off the bat. Oh, we don't need you.
I agree.
A little bit on baseball. Shohei Ohtani. He has more home runs than the Detroit Tigers.
It's not saying much, but yeah. Go ahead.
So this is not saying much that he's also a pitcher.
That's incredible. That's amazing.
So he has 3 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
He had his debut. How many strikeouts did he have? 11 strikeouts?
12.
12 strikeouts.
12 strikeouts.
How many hits did he give up?
1.
1 hit.
And he had a perfect game going into the 7th.
And this is our pitcher who can also swing the bat. You can put him in the top 6 of your lineup. This is our pitcher we're talking about. Is he the next MLB superstar?
I mean, how can you not think what you're seeing here is going to be your next star? Yes, you have pitchers come in and they dominate. Some take a while to dominate. You know, it's a build-up. Some come right away, you know, and you see his stardom. You see where he can go. Like Strasburg, when he first came out, he was hurt, but he got his elbow. You've seen
Strasburg came out throwing gas.
Exactly. Then he had the Tommy John. But you've seen where he could be, and you've seen greatness. Kershaw, you've seen greatness. Understand?
Judge.
Greatness. Now, when you're speaking of these people, yes, Kershaw can bat. He can bat.
Not like him, though.
You can bat. He can bat. But it's different when you have a pitcher that can throw the gas. He topped off at, 99.6 miles per hour.
So he's throwing 100.
He's throwing 100. His next to last pitch, which was his 90th pitch, he clocked in at 90 miles per hour. 90. His 90th pitch. His curveball clocked in at 68.5. Do you know your arm control, what it has to be to have that dominance? Then this greatness you're looking at pitcher gets behind the plate. Goes up to the plate, and he's knocking in home runs. Extra base hits. So now you have a pitcher that's dominating. Now his ERA, what is it? About 2. So he's saving runs
And giving
you runs. If this is not greatness that we're looking at, of course we don't want to crown him too early, you know, that's the thing. But just going off potential. Yes, he struggled in spring training. But
yeah, so did everybody else. When the lights is on, it's time to play ball.
Time to perform.
You know, he did his thing. Baseball's in good hands.
You've seen the future, yeah.
Him, Judge, Chris Bryant, Carlos Correa. Baseball's in pretty good hands.
Absolutely.
Cody Bellinger.
Absolutely. Bryce Harper.
Bryce is starting to now be on starting to become a veteran. You know.
Well, 5 years? 5 years.
5 years, you're right.
5 years.
Bryce Harper. Mike Trout. Baseball's in pretty good hands. But I agree with you. He's going to definitely be the next MLB superstar. I think, I don't think before it's all said and done, I don't think you won't see too many people like him.
Absolutely.
When was the last person you see? Madison Bumgarner probably was the best hitting pitcher. He might hit 20 home runs this year, which is crazy.
And have an ERA under 2, maybe.
What if he wins like the Cy Young, and then it's like top 5 in home runs.
That's crazy.
It's possible.
That's crazy.
He's not like a crazy home run hitter. Only thing that will stop him
He
his
won't have-
stats. The
he
problem
won't
was his
have that
stats
many-
when he won't have that many at bats because he
Exactly,
won't pitch
'cause
that
when
much.
he play-
What if you put him at DH the days he don't pitch? Though?
Oh my goodness.
I can see them doing that. Putting him at DH the days he don't pitch.
Well,
I would try
that
something.
would be against the American League.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I would try it. I would try it.
Try
Just
it.
to try it just to see what it looks like.
That's amazing. Yes, I do. I do feel like this is the next MLB.
So his baseball card is going up $6,000 on eBay.
It's crazy. Did you see that? I had to double click it. Like, wait, I had to refresh.
His
like,
baseball card is going for $6,000 on eBay,
wait, this rookie card.
and it's going to go higher.
So his first 10 games, he has an ERA of 2.08.
Ridiculous.
And he's batting .389.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Leads the team in wins.
I mean, it's
tied with
early.
Trout and Justin Upton with team lead in home runs.
The Angels are serious. That might be the piece they miss.
So
And they still got Albert Pujols, don't they?
yeah, Albert Pujols is about 50 years old.
Albert Pujols still hit that thing 500 feet.
Yeah, every once in a while.
He still hit that thing 500 feet.
Not a problem. Let's get into some trivia time.
Oh, Jesus.
What's wrong? What's going on?
I've been losing. I'm just salty.
Listen. Oh, see, now we're just on the other foot. But we're going to get into some trivia time.
What time is it?
It's trivia time with Tone.
It's showtime.
It's showtime. So, this week we have trivia time of number 1 picks.
Former number 1 picks.
Former number 1 picks. in
Lord help me.
NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball. So,
I'll let you start it.
start off. Okay. I'm going to start off, NBA.
Thank you.
I got to. Don't worry about it. Of course, number 1 overall pick. All NBA third team. All defensive second team. All rookie first team. NBA champion. NBA blocks leader. I will give you the year, but that's too easy.
You have to give me the year.
How do I have to give you
You
the
got to
year?
give me the year because I don't know.
NBA is a little bit too easy.
Now you got to give me the year. Please. Please.
I can't.
Give me the year.
It's too easy.
Oh, my God.
It's too easy.
Please. It's not Tyson Chandler because Tyson Chandler's the number 2 pick.
It's too easy.
It's not too easy. Just give me the year.
It's too easy.
Give me the year.
I can't give you the year. Not with NBA. Not with us.
It was an NBA champion. What is it? NBA champion.
NBA blocks leader.
NBA
all
blocks
NBA third team.
That doesn't help me.
All defensive second team.
Doesn't help me.
All rookie first team.
Doesn't help me. I don't know. Give me the year.
That's
Give me the year.
That's too easy. That's too easy if I give you that.
Nah, it's not. I don't know.
Should I give him a hint, y'all?
Yes.
I should give him a hint?
Please.
I see one says yes, one says no. I need no hint. No hint.
Damn, son.
3 no hints.
That's like terrible. Like, nah. I don't. It's not like enough like clues. Like 13 blocks leader, NBA champion.
NBA champion.
Who led the league in blocks? What year did he win?
That's easy.
What year did they win?
I can't give you that.
Why not?
I can't give you that. That's easier than the year he drafted.
Don't give me the year he got drafted. Stop being like
I
that.
took a consensus.
They not in it. I give up, man.
I give a consensus.
I give up.
You give up?
Yeah.
Andrew Bogut.
That's not. I don't know. That's it's terrible. Oh, he picked Andrew Bogut. Oh, I didn't know he was doing that.
What you said, number 1 pick?
I'm thinking we was gonna pick some people that was actually like significant number 1 picks. It wasn't significant.
He's the number 1 pick and the NBA champion.
Oh
We
my
could
God,
run down a
that
list of how
didn't
many
help me.
NBA
That
champions
didn't
from
help
number
me.
1.
That didn't help me. You could have gave me 2005 and I still would have got it right.
And you knew it. So how? I could have gave you 2005 and you just said it. Really?
Oh, bro.
Exactly.
All right, listen to my number 1, right?
Okay.
8-time NBA All-Star.
8-time NBA. All-Star.
5-time NBA All-First Team.
5 times.
3-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year.
3-time
5-time NBA Rebounding Champion.
5-time NBA.
2-time NBA Blocks Leader. Olympic Gold Medalist. Who is it?
8-time All-Star?
Yeah.
Is this supposed to be easy?
Easier than what you gave me.
Number 1 overall pick, 8-time, 5-time. What was it? I need to run it down again.
5-time NBA All-First Team. You annoying me.
NBA All-First Team. First team.
I get Andrew Bogut.
What you mean? That's the number 1 pick.
Stop it.
8-time All-Star,
Stop
3-time.
I'm mad at you.
What was he, blocks leader? You said blocks?
Yeah, blocks twice.
Twice blocks leader. He was all defensive team. It's a little disrespectful.
I
all
don't
the
know
time.
what year he was all defensive team, but yeah, you know he was.
You said 3 times though.
3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
3-time defensive player of the year?
Yeah.
Oh, 3-time defensive player of the year. Drafted number 1.
Really, bro?
3-time
I
block.
gotta go to work.
Dwight Howard?
Dwight Howard, man. Look at the difference what I gave you with.
What you mean? What was the difference? I had to figure that out just like you. You didn't tell me the year.
Nah,
I gave you the NBA champion.
I gave him 8-time All-Star.
And I gave you 2. He wasn't an All-Star.
You shouldn't have picked Andrew Bogut.
Why not?
You shouldn't have picked.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Listen. All right. NFL.
I don't know any NFL. I'm not gonna get an answer right.
NFL number 1 overall pick 2006.
That doesn't help me. Now you want to give me the year?
I gave you the
Now
year
you want
now.
to give me the year? I
I
don't
gave
because
you
you
the
I
year.
watched football in 2006.
4-time Pro Bowler, first team All Pro, 2-time second team All Pro.
What position was it?
That's easy.
Oh my God!
All right, you know what? All right, I got it. Should I give him a hint what position he plays?
Don't give me the hint.
Position? Okay, I should give it to consensus.
Yo, they are terrible, bro. These
Give
are
it to him.
terrible accolades.
Give it to
bro.
him.
These are
Give
terrible
it to him.
accolades, bro.
Defensive end.
I don't know who's the defensive end. That was the number 1 pick. I never watched football. I didn't watch football. In 2006, I didn't watch football. 2006 defensive end. I don't know.
Should I give you the team?
Nah.
All right.
Nah.
You don't know?
Nah.
Mario Williams. What team he played for?
He got drafted by what? Buffalo?
No, you got drafted by the Texans. So you definitely probably would have got that wrong.
Yeah. Come on, man. World Series champion.
World Series champion. Oh, Lord.
AL Rookie of the Year.
AL Rookie of the Year.
MLB All-Star.
And you got mad at me and you get AL Rookie of the Year.
That's all his accolades.
And what else?
AL Rookie of the Year. World Series champion. And MLB All-Star. So he couldn't have been in the league but for so long.
MLB. Why? He probably ain't sustained greatness. World Series champ, AL Rookie of the Year.
Want a hint? Won the World Series within the last 2 years.
He won the World Series within the last 2 years. A number 1 overall pick. So, Astros. And that was the Cubs. Chris Bryant? No, he didn't. No. AL rookie. Got you. Got you.
So now it just narrows down your list.
So now it's just. Oh, so that's He was a number 1 pick? Why am I drawing a blank? And I know the answer.
You just said he was the number 1. He was the number 1 pick, so you had somebody in mind.
No, I know he wasn't a number 1 pick. I don't know who that is because it's not Altuve, and Altuve was not the number 1 pick. I don't know who.
Carlos Correa.
Oh my God, we just talked. Okay.
All I gotta get one.
All right, this is the easy one.
It's not an easy one.
Okay. 4-time Pro Bowler. NFL Comeback Player of the Year. Belt Award. Burt Bell Award.
Okay, I looked him up and Mike Vick.
Yeah.
Only because I had him and I was like, he don't got enough accolades. Tone gonna get mad at me. And
You said not enough accolades. You just gave me 2.5.
I gave you a good
For
hint
Carlos.
though. I gave you a good hint though. The World Series within the last 2 years was a good hint. Because now NAL. So
I hear you. I hear you. Heard you.
5-time MLB All-Star.
5-time MLB All-Star.
AL Cy Young winner in 2012.
5-time All-Star. AL Cy Young. 2012.
AL wins leader in 2012. MLB strikeout leader in 2014.
How many time All-Star? 5-time All-Star. And what was the other one? Give me the list again.
Cy Young winner in 2012.
Cy
AL.
Young.
AL.
AL.
Cy Young winner in 2012.
Cy Young.
AL wins leader in 2012.
AL wins leader.
MLB strikeout leader in 2014.
2014. I know this. I know this. I know this. I know this. And I can't. I know this. I know this answer. I know this. AL. I'm drawing a blank right now. And it's killing me because once you say the name, I'm going to be angry with myself. Who is it?
David Price.
Sad. You're going to know why I'm sad. Number 1 overall pick, of course.
We know.
MLB. AL MVP. 6-time All-Star. 3-time All-AL batting champion. 3-time Gold Glove Award. 5-time Silver Slugger Award.
What year was he drafted? Can I get that? I can't get what year he was drafted. I don't know baseball. Basketball, I get it. Don't give me the year, but baseball.
2001. Can't get no music.
2001. I don't know. What was the accolades again? 6-time All-Star.
6-time All-Star, AL MVP, 3-time AL batting champion, 3-time Gold Glove Award winner, 5-time Silver Slugger Award.
2001 draft. I was looking at the list. It's not Pat Burrell.
Give up?
Yeah.
Joe Mauer.
Joe Mauer.
Joe Mauer.
This was bad. This was a bad choice for my number 1 pick. This was bad. This is all year.
What score? 1-1. How many we got left? We got 1 left?
I got 2 left. You got 2 left. I got 1 left.
Okay.
3-time Pro Bowler.
3-time.
Second team All Pro in 2015.
This football?
Yeah.
3-time Pro Bowler and what?
Second team All Pro in 2015.
Second team All Pro.
Yep. NFL touchdown passing leader in 2005. Heisman Trophy Award winner in 2002.
Won the Heisman Trophy. He got World Series. He got World Series. He got any
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Touchdown
Leader in 2005.
2005. Touchdown.
Passing touchdown.
Passing touchdown. And he won the Heisman what year?
2002.
2002. 2002 won the Heisman. No, he didn't come. a good one because I should know this. No Super Bowls.
No Super Bowls.
Can I get the music? I need the music for myself. I don't know. Who is it?
Carson Palmer.
Carson Palmer. 2002. Definitely did with USC. Lord. Number 1 overall pick.
Stop
NBA.
saying number 1 overall pick.
NBA. 8-time All-Star. 2-time All-NBA second team. 3-time All-NBA third team. NBA All-Rookie team. Who am I?
Yao Ming.
There you go. So you won this week.
No, I got one more.
You got one more?
Yeah,
I got a chance?
Because you went first.
Okay.
Yeah, you should get this one. So we should tie.
Go ahead.
5-time NBA All-Star.
5-time NBA All-Star.
NBA All-Star MVP.
NBA All-Star.
MVP.
MVP.
So MVP at All-Star game. 2-time NBA All-First Team. 2-time NBA blocks leader.
I'm about to Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis. I was gonna give you one more. I was gonna say NCAA champion, but I didn't think we needed it. So it's a tie this week.
So we tied this week.
Really quick. You know, we got a little bit of time. Really quick. I was in a car accident on Easter Sunday. Investigation is still going on. Was rear-ended by a motorcycle coming home from an AAU tournament. Unfortunately, the person who was driving the motorcycle hit me. He was with his wife, and his wife passed. So I've been dealing with that for the last 2 weeks. You know, it's been really stressful, everything going on and all that. But I'd like to take a moment of silence for the woman who passed. You know, horrible situation. You know, haven't had any contact with the gentleman or anything like that. But I do keep his family in prayer daily. So if we can have a brief moment of silence, you know, for the victim, woman, the wife, and just a moment of silence for the man. You know, that's his wife. Imagine what he's going through. So if we can have a quick moment of silence, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you, my brother.
No problem.
How much time
no
we got
problem.
left?
2.
Really quick.
Just 2 minutes. Go
Really
ahead.
quick. What's the chance you see Floyd Mayweather in the octagon?
Slim to none. Don't believe it.
Don't buy the hype.
Don't buy the hype.
Don't buy the hype.
I don't buy it unless it's an amazing payday. He's getting something like 800 million, and Conor's getting like 300 million. We don't have too long to touch on it, and I don't want to rush through everything. But you know, with this whole Dana White situation, Conor is in a situation right now where it's not looking good. He has federal charges on him at the moment. You know, I don't know if anybody that follows the UFC seen the incident that happened at the media day, where him and a few of his they call them thugs. I don't know who they are, but a few of his entourage came in, rushed the media day, rushed the bus, throwing things at the bus. It crashed. Mike Chiesa, he was injured. He got stitches to the face. You know, this caused through that incident. You know, Mike Chiesa got hurt, and you know, Rose was shaken up. Ray Borg was hurt, and through that whole incident, 2 fighters were hurt that couldn't perform, that couldn't fight that weekend. That caused 2 fights not to happen. 4 people did not get their payday because of the incident Conor wanted to involve himself with, which is wrong. Excuse me. I didn't think that was right, but a lot of people saying it was the hype. If it was the hype and, you know, it was for show, people are hurt. People are losing money because of this. So I don't know what Dana White is going to do. He's stuck. I don't think they should ban Conor because, you know,
You need him.
You need him. But
You gotta make him pay that bread
at
back.
least
You gotta
6
pay that
months he should be suspended.
And he got to pay that money back.
Pay that money back. Oh, he's gonna give up a lot of money. And if I was one of those fighters, I'd be like, you know what? I need that bread because I'm not fighting no more because you just gave me money for the rest of my life. My eyes hurt. Everything hurt. I need that payday. But let's wrap it up. I'm Tone Taylor.
I'm Chris Harris. Appreciate everybody tuning in.
And we're out.
You're listening to IBNX. IBNXradio.com.